Today in the world, it seems like time is a very limited resource, and a lot of people seem to be very uncertain of the future. I have been thinking a lot just about the concept of time and how much time I have on this planet, on how much time I have on Earth. I think that the world is just a very uncertain place. I think that we all need to be a little bit more present with all the stuff that's going on. I mean, especially as a black guy, there's a lot of people that are falling into this right wing Nazi esque neo skin ideology that obviously affects me. Obviously, I'm living in the UK. A lot of brothers, we like to smoke weed and chill and stuff like this, but I think that in this day and age, we do need to be a bit more clear with the vision that we have in our lives. In the world right now, there's a lot of important things going on where I think that we need to start thinking of building more community with each other and with people. I don't think the best thing is to build community always online. I think it's probably better to do stuff in person, physical, building stuff with people, being present with people, being able to be open and honest with people, and just learning how to talk to people and understand. Learn to be more present with your time. Don't let the golden chain of drugs and addiction and these simple pleasures, distract you from the true meaning of life, because honestly, we all don't have that much time left. I'm hitting 30, and ideally, perhaps, maybe I have another good 40 years in me until it's my time to check out. The nature of impermanence is very true in this world, that we think we have all the time in the world, or we think that things are always going to be in this kind of permanent state of existence, but ultimately the truth is that nothing remains the same forever. Time doesn't stand still for anybody, it's always continuing to move, and I think that it's better to have a wake up call earlier, knowing that you do have the ability to change things in your life or even in the world. Everybody's trying to be such an individual, and I think that this illusion that to make it in this world, we have to all be individuals and make as much money as we can and chase material things is probably the reason why we have gotten ourselves into this in the first place, and why the world is so pretty much dark at the moment. The rise of all this like toxic red pill type of content, a lot of it pushed the idea of being this like hyper successful individual guy. And as much as I think there's still so much to learn about getting jacked and like working on yourself, doing all the stuff for yourself and learning to rely on yourself, it's very important to me, and I will tell every guy that you should be doing this anyway. At the same time, that should not be the be all and end all, because we live in this world of people, and I don't think in history nothing would have been built if we all just went our separate ways and we didn't come together and build stuff with each other. I think human nature is very communal. We need people to be able to do things, and I think by coming together, we're able to do things better. We have to at some point realize that it's all been sort of made this way so that we are just always thinking about trying to survive until next month and make bank by working these jobs that ultimately, for a lot of us, don't really mean anything to us. And with the finite time that we have on this world, I think that we have to come up with a solution to change this kind of life that we have, that the thing that we do and we spend the most time on, which is work. There's time to really think about, are you happy with your situation right now? I'm certainly not. I'm trying to find a way to get out of it. I'm not saying that I want to be some super rich millionaire, but I do definitely want to be able to find a way to free up my time so that I have time to do other things, whether it's going to the gym or learning more about spirituality, seeing if I can do anything to help the world. And I don't want my life to be like the people that I see, or some people that I see at my job, where they're in their 60s to 70s and they still are doing the same thing. And I think that if you're not willing to sacrifice very deep, personal, attached things that aren't necessarily good for you will be stuck in that cycle and you will not find a way out unless you are willing to change. This society is created to literally take our productivity and use it for the benefit of the rich and powerful. So I do feel like there is a battle to be fought with words and with the mind and all this kind of stuff. But as much as I've talked on enough, I think I'll end it there, and I hope that we all can find a way to free ourselves of this sort of mental entrapment and mental slavery that unfortunately we find ourselves in.